The almighty Prince Vegeta!
Yo guys, in today's video I'm going to be speaking a little bit about the 3rd anniversary legendary finish unit, what it's going to take for them to be Z tier, and whether they'll be able to compete with the likes of Android 18, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, so on and so forth. So, let's throw it back to the 1st anniversary, when Super Vegito first came around. The best unit of his time, bar none, was just absolutely ridiculous when he first dropped, and he was the king of the meta for like what, 8 or 9 months, something like that, something silly. So obviously when he first came around, he was the first unit that could like remove buffs on his green card, I believe. I think he was anyway. He could heal, he had draw speed on his ult, he had constant damage buffs. That was like his main thing, like his ability to get damage buffs. Like every time he hit you with an attack, that got a buff. So say he hit you with a strike, he got a strike buff. Hit you with a blast, he got a blast buff. Like his buffs were absolutely crazy. So yeah, he was the king of his time, bar none. And back then as well, cover changes weren't really very common. We had like Ultimate Gohan with his save. We had a few others, but he was one of the very first to have a cover change, and he was just ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. So fast forward 1 year on from there, we have Vegito Blue. So I don't really need to go into his kit too much, but his continuous strike cards and combos, the fact that he could rise and rush you in 10 counts just based off the amount of, you know, like moves he could do in a short space of time. He had a blast cover change, which was pretty rare and still is pretty rare. You don't see that too much. And he also had a blue card you could combo with it, and it prevents switching. And then going on to his ult, I mean, the most powerful move in the game at the time, and to ensure that you could use it, it replaced the card in your hand and gave you 50 ki as well. So if you was mid combo, it's pretty much guaranteed to land. And on top of that, he also had blast armor on more or less everything. So yeah, Vegito Blue, absolutely nuts. So we're now 1 year on from then, the 3rd anniversary of course. And since then, there has been a huge change in the meta. We've had the rise of Zenkais, which of course includes 18, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the other Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Bardock receiving a Zenkai, all the Super Saiyans. Like, it's been a big change even from the 2nd anniversary. And since then, LF units have been more frequent, but their kit hasn't been as good. And they can't keep up. Their base stats aren't high enough. They only have 2 uniques, and they've just sort of become obsolete in a way. I mean, Kid Buu was good, but Rose was average. Gohan was decent. LF Super Saiyan 4 was just average again. Like, they have decent kits, but they don't have enough unique abilities, and they don't have the base stats to be able to keep up with Zenkais. So the whole point of this video is me basically saying what it would take for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, hypothetically if it is him, to be able to compete with those Zenkais and potentially be a Z tier unit. So, at the bare minimum, he would need the majority of these: draw speed, key recovery, the ability to get key on a regular basis, whether that be for his green card or entry, being able to go type neutral, nullifying endurance, enemy key reduction, all little things like that are necessities for any unit to be high S, for example, at the very least. But I want to discuss a few options that we've never seen before that would potentially put him on a level with Zenkais, regardless of their base stats and their, you know, ridiculous unique abilities. So starting off, I feel like he should have draw speed that increases every, say, 8 counts that he's on the field. So let's say, for example, you've got him out, you bring him in straight away, he's got draw speed. You keep him in for 8 counts, his draw speed goes up to level 2. He's out for 16 counts, goes up to level 3, so on and so forth. So the longer you keep him on the field, the more draw speed he has. Now, that might seem ridiculous, but it's going to take something like this to even be able to match 18, who literally just has infinite combos herself, on top of a crazy, ridiculous base stat. So it's not too bad when you think about it. Anyway, moving on. Option number 2, giving him the ability to sacrifice another unit in his place when he's about to die. So let's say, for example, you're fighting Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. He's used his green card, he's locked you in, he's about to pop his blue card, and that's it, Gogeta's about to die. As soon as that lands, an option comes up that allows you to sacrifice one of your other units in his place. a little animation happens, and then Gogeta survives. Like, how cool would that be? The ability to keep him around for as long as possible and like get the most out of a legendary finish unit that is so, like, this isn't a normal unit. People need to understand, like, this is a 3rd anniversary celebration unit. This is the biggest time of the year for Legends. This unit needs to be the apex of the game. Top tier, Z tier. Like, people aren't spending all these crystals and saving all these crystals for no reason. Like, this is meant to be a huge unit, so he needs to have huge unique abilities that would put him at the top and above everyone else. Anyway, moving on, option number 3. I feel like he should have some form of immunity to Rising Rush. Now, whether that is like a Beerus disruptive ability, where he can lock the opponent from using the Rising Rush while he's on the field, or whether he just has complete immunity to it, whether that be through cover change or him taking the Rising Rush directly. So let's say, for example, your opponent just pops the Rising Rush, it hits Gogeta, and Gogeta does an animation, cancels the Rising Rush, your opponent loses all his Dragon Balls. How crazy would that be? Like, Rising Rush is such a huge part of this game and such a huge dynamic in PvP. One Rising Rush can literally win or lose you a game. So having an ability like that would literally just elevate him just to a different tier, in my opinion, because it's more or less the ability to cancel a Rising Rush. So yeah, man, 100%, that's an ability I would give him. It might seem a little bit overpowered, but it's what we need. Unfortunately, they're the lengths we have to go to elevate a unit up to the tier of the Zenkais. So yeah, so those are the abilities I'd give him. But on top of that, I feel like at low stars he should have higher base stats. Now, I know, like, it's going to seem unfair to all the other legendary finish units we've had prior, and it's going to make them look a little bit more like obsolete, but like I said before a few minutes ago, this is literally the 3rd anniversary legendary finish unit. Like, this is a unit that everybody wants, wait all year for it, that people save from the 2nd Annie all the way up to the 3rd Annie just to make sure they can pull this unit. Like, it's so sought after and desired. So he should have higher base stats from the get-go. Like, Vegito Blue, we didn't have a problem. We didn't have a problem with Vegito Blue. He didn't have the highest defense in the world. I mean, he had like damage cut and reduction and all that stuff, but you also have to consider that Zenkais weren't a major thing back then. Like, we had Zenkais, we had Namek Goku, the red one, we had Beerus, I think, we had Blue Broly, but they weren't at the same level they are now, man. So something has got to change, whether that be they put their base stats up, or they give them 3 unique abilities instead of 2. Like, they need to do something to make them comparable to Zenkais. Anyway, just a quick video, just letting you guys know what I'd like to see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta hypothetically have in his kit, and what I feel like would put him on a very similar level to 18, Gohan, etc, etc. So, let me know down below what you think, what you want to see in the new unit's kit. Thank you for watching as always. Like, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out.